Hello, it's John Heaton, and today I just reviewed the latest album from AC/DC, and as I was doing the review, or just after, I realised I hadn't actually reviewed Back in Black, so I thought that was a bit bizarre, so I thought I'd do a quick review of Back in Black, which was 1980, and a bit of background to this. I'd been a fan for about a year, I suppose, before this album came out. So Highway to Hell was big when I was at school, and I bought that, or I was familiar with it. I can't remember exactly when I bought it, but I think I had it on vinyl, and loved the band. I think I was just getting into Powerage and Let There Be Rock, and then unfortunately Bon Scott, the lead singer, died of alcohol complications, and one didn't know what was going to happen to the band, and they made a pretty quick decision to carry on, which with hindsight was a good decision, but a tough one to begin with, because how do you replace Bon Scott? So they hired this Geordie, Brian Johnson from Newcastle, and he'd been in a previous band, and he fitted the band's sound pretty well. His vocals are quite high-pitched, even more so than Bon, but it was certainly a good mixture on this album, and with diminishing returns as further albums came out, in my opinion. So this album came out and appropriately titled Back in Black, with everything in black apart from the AC/DC logo with the grey outline there, and apparently the record company only agreed to the black cover if they highlighted the logo there, but the actual title of the album, Back in Black, is hardly visible, but a really nice idea to come up with this title, and as a tribute to Bon. And I remember this album was recorded in Compass Point Studios in Nassau, Bahamas in April and May of 1980, and I was lucky enough to be in the Bahamas in July of 1980, staying with my good school friend Denisio. Microphone's just come off, sorry. And so that I only missed them by a couple of months, which is unfortunate because the studio is literally just down the road from where Denisio and his parents lived. So might have bumped into them had I been there a bit earlier. But anyway, so I came back from that holiday on the 3rd of August, I seem to remember. The album had come out on the 25th of July, and I rushed down to Our Price in Wimbledon Broadway to get the album. Got it. I had a bit of jet lag, got back, saw the track listing on the back, saw that it opened with Back in Black. On the back it says that anyway. Got the record out, didn't look to see if it was side 1 or side 2, just saw the opening track, Back in Black, assumed that was side 1, played that, and then promptly fell asleep in side 2. So that's the story of my first listening to this album. I got the sides wrong. I wonder if anyone else out there did the same thing as me, because it's a bit misleading. You think Back in Black is opening the album because it's the first track listed, when in actual fact Hell's Bells opens the album and Back in Black opens side 2. Anyway, I only fell asleep because of jet lag, not through boredom, because this was a tremendously powerful album for the most part. Not completely consistent, but if I just go through the tracks in the order they're listed on the back here, Back in Black, the title track, is an absolute surefire, all-time classic. It's up there with the best of the Bon Scott years. It's got a magic riff, superb vocals. I just think it's an absolutely brilliant song. Hell's Bells is a good opener to the album, with the big funeral bell at the beginning. And I remember coming back to Budapest after Christmas in 1996 and New Year's Eve, about 7 in the evening, walking to the pub from where I used to live, near Margaret Bridge, and someone was playing this album out of their window or out of somewhere at full volume, and it was Hell's Bells, the title track. I remember it, and I was thinking, this is weird, almost as if it was coming over some kind of PA. And I still don't know to this day where the hell that was coming from, but someone was either being very brave and playing it very loud and screw the neighbours kind of thing. It wasn't at midnight or anything. So anyway, so that was a little story there. Shoot to Thrill, the third named track, is just up there with all-time classic AC/DC, brilliant. Not a single, but could have been top-notch. Giving the Dog a Bone is okay. What You Do for Money, Honey, is brilliant. Top-notch, not a single, but classic AC/DC. Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution, not a favourite of mine. I don't like these chugging slow ones. Let Me Put My Love Into You is even worse. But then we've got You Shook Me All Night Long with the superb riff. You know, a similar type riff to Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be, or that kind of catchiness, that great hook. And it was a tremendous hook for a single, and hence the single did well. I haven't got the chart positions for you, but that was a pretty successful single. Shake a Leg is quite a good rocker, nothing special. Have a Drink on Me is decent. If you notice, a lot of the songs here are either about women or drinking or hell, basically. But anyway, it's a decent album. They were to do a lot worse. I gave up buying them for those about to rock. I listened to the odd track after that, but I thought this is, if I'm honest, this is their last great work, or in my opinion. I keep on having to say that because you are perfectly entitled to disagree and defend, you know, Razor's Edge or one of these later albums as being a great album. I just haven't invested the time into those latter day albums. But this one is almost up there with the Bon Scott years. Certainly when it's good, it's as good as anything Bon Scott did with the band. And yeah, I bought it within a week of it coming out, and love it to this day. Don't go back to it that often because, as I say, it's not a completely consistent album, and I've since learned how to put side one on instead of side two. So I've solved that one. Opens with Hell's Bells, I know now, but back then I made the mistake. So thanks for watching. See you next time.